Please tell me, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good morning. In the last session, we have started with our second unit, that is representation of expressions. In that, we have studied normal and principal normal forms. Then in that, it was a CNF. CNF is product of elementary sums, means ending of OR terms, and DNF is sum of elementary products, means it's a ORing of AND terms. Okay, then we have studied principal normal forms. In that, PCNF is there. Why it is a PCNF? In CNF, if all the terms are of same length, all the variables are of same length, then it is a principal CNF. Same case with PDNF, that is principal DNF. If all the terms or all the variables are of same length in a DNF, then it is a PDNF, that is principal disjunctive normal form. Then we studied these forms: infix form, prefix form, and postfix form. In infix form, what it is the operator is in between two operands. In prefix, operator is at the front, that is at the first place, the operator is there, and then the two operands are there. These are unambiguous one. No confusion is there when we are solving these. That's why no parenthesis is required here. We can simply write like this: star plus 132, or like this: star plus 1 3 minus 2 3, like this. Okay, then we also studied postfix forms. In postfix forms, what it is the operands are at the front, and at the last place the operators are there. Okay, it is nothing but the postfix form. Then we studied theory of inference for statement calculus. In that, some terms were there, some terminology. Rules of inference are there, from which we are going to study some mathematical statements, where for that purpose, using mathematical logic, we have to give the logical proofs. Proofs are valid arguments that determine the truth values of mathematical statements. Okay, and argument is a sequence of statements. In that, the last statement is called as conclusion, and the preceding statements are called as premises or hypothesis. Okay, and for the conclusion, this sign, therefore sign, is used. Okay, today we actually are going to see some rules of inference. Okay, which rules are there which use inference? Before that, we'll see this one, this P1 and P2 and P3. These are the premises up to Pn, means ending of these premises implies conclusion is a tautology, then the argument is considered as valid. Okay, this one, P1 and P2 and P3 and dash dash Pn implies Q is a tautology, then the argument is considered as valid. Otherwise, it is termed as invalid. Okay, we will see some rules today. Here, this is the new part for our session today. Please tell me before starting whether you have Python training today.
Yes, ma'am.
At what time?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock it is. Okay, so we'll finish our session before that. Every theorem in mathematics or any subject for that matter is supported by underlying proofs. These proofs are nothing but a set of arguments that are conclusive evidence of the validity of the theory. Okay, every theorem in mathematics or any subject for that matter, every theorem or theory is there in mathematics and any subject we study or we come to uh, face that matter or subject. Okay, in that some theories, some established uh, conclusions are there. Okay, and those are supported by underlying proofs. Those are not like random. Okay, for every uh, action or for every theory there, uh, it is having proof. Okay, so these proofs are nothing but set of arguments. Means the proofs are in the form of arguments. Set of arguments is there, and that are conclusive evidence of the validity of the theory. Means these all these arguments are going to conclude for the theory. Okay, this theory, whatever it is, theorem in mathematics or theory, that is supported by this set of arguments. Okay, proof is there for this theory, and that is in the form of argument. Okay, then the arguments are chained together using rules of inferences. Now these arguments are chained together, means those are gathered, and what is used for that is rules of inferences to deduce new statements and ultimately prove that theorem is valid. Okay, what we have to do in that case is to deduce, means to derive new things, that is to deduce new statements and ultimately prove that the theorem is valid. These arguments are chained together using rules of inferences. Means what? These arguments are nothing but the proof. Okay, proof for any theorem, and we are taking those arguments to prove the theorem that is valid. Okay, and which is valid, that theory only we consider. Okay, which is invalid, that we don't consider. Generally in day-to-day life also, uh, which is valid, that only we take, other things we discard. Okay, like that, to prove that theorem is valid, the arguments, that is a set of arguments or the proofs that are chained together and using rules of inferences. Now we are going to study these rules of inferences. Okay, then structure of an argument. As defined, an argument is a sequence of statements called premises which end with a conclusion. And this part we have already seen. Premises we call it as P1, P2, P3, and Pn. Conclusion we take as Q. Okay. If what we have now is if P1 and P2 and P3 and dash dash Pn implies Q is a tautology, then the argument is termed valid, otherwise termed as invalid. Okay, what we have to do here is, these are the premises and Q is the conclusion. Then what we have to prove is if P1 and P2 and P3 and dash dash Pn implies Q is a tautology, then the argument is termed as valid, otherwise invalid. Okay, See here, here is the structure of that argument. First premise, second premise, third premise, dot dot up to nth premise, and therefore conclusion. Okay, this sign, therefore conclusion. Then simple arguments can be used as building blocks to construct more complicated valid arguments. Simple arguments can be used as building blocks to construct more complicated valid arguments. Means the complicated valid arguments are there, then those are constructed with the help of simple arguments. Okay, then certain simple arguments that have been established as valid are very important in terms of their usage. These arguments are called rules of inference. Now, what are rules of inference? We'll see. Certain simple arguments, okay? Certain simple arguments that have been established as valid, okay? Certain simple, already we know these are established, okay? The simple arguments, those are already valid, are very important in terms of their usage, okay? Which are important for the purpose of establishing the new complicated arguments, okay? And these arguments are called rules of inference, okay? The most commonly used rules of inference are tabulated below. Here we can see this P and Q are the variables taken here. Now what we are doing is P and P implies Q. These are two premises and therefore conclusion is Q. Okay. In this case, what we have to prove now is this a tautology? P and P implies Q using means using truth table. If we can see it is a tautology, okay, then this rule we can use in the complicated examples to solve, okay. This name of this rule is modus ponens. The name of this rule is modus ponens. Now we will solve it with the help of truth table to get the idea, okay. What our rule is? P and P implies Q implies Q. P and P implies Q implies Q. This we have to prove as tautology. Okay. Now we'll construct a truth table for this. P, Q, then P implies Q, then what we have to do is P and P implies Q, And lastly, what we want to do is P and P implies Q implies Q. Now we'll take our truth values TTFF for Q. We will take it as T F T F. Okay. Now what our P implies Q is? It is true. P is true, Q is true, it's true. But P is true, Q is false, it's false. Then P is F, Q is T, it's again true. Implication operation is there. And P is F, Q is F, then also it's true. Implication operation. Okay. Now next what we have to do is P and P implies Q. We have to consider here first column and third column. Okay. In that what it is P and P implies Q means true and true. It's true. Okay. Then what about next? Ending between first and third column. T and F, it will be F. And operation is true in the case only that it is means both the propositions are true. Okay. Using first and third column, we come to know as first row is only like having both the values as true. In the first column, third row, it's F and P and Q is T. Sorry, P implies Q is T. Then ending of these two will be false. Same case with the lower one. One is false and one is true. Ending between both will be false. Then now the last part what we have to do is implication of this column with Q. Okay. Implication of this column with Q means fourth column implies second column. We have to see here now. First operand is T, second is T. Implication operation becomes T. Okay. Then next is second and fourth column. Tell me, first operand is F, second is also F. So the false implies false is true. Then fourth and second column, this F and T. First is F, second is T. In that case also this is T, and the last row of the fourth column, that is F and Q is also F. So in that case, this will be, implication will be true. So what we come to know as, yes, what we come to know as, last column comes as T, that it is a tautology. Okay, getting, this one is a tautology. P and P implies Q implies Q. It is a tautology. So what we have is the means this rule of inference we have proved. This one is it. P and P implies Q, therefore Q. Okay, P and P implies Q is a tautology. That's why it is proved. Okay, and its name is modus ponens rule. Its name is modus ponens rule. Okay, then the next is negation Q. P implies Q, therefore negation P. Okay, negation Q. P implies Q, therefore negation P. Getting? So in that case, what tautology we have to prove? Negation Q and P implies Q implies to negation P. Okay, this rule is known as modus tollens rule. Okay, then the next is P implies Q, Q implies P, therefore P biconditional Q. Okay, this rule is known as law of biconditional propositions. P implies Q, Q implies P, therefore P biconditional Q. Okay, all of you solve this tautology using truth table and show me by doing on your camera. One by one, please do this. Have you pen and papers with you? Yes, tell me. Are you all solving this? The third law of biconditional propositions. I have told you to solve this one. Please go through. P implies Q and Q implies P. Therefore, P biconditional Q. Is anybody solving? Yes. Or shall I go to solve? Yes, tell me. Show me your notebook. Who will show me notebook by switching on the camera? For them only, I will consider the attendance. Yes. Show me. Divya. Divya, Nupur,
Yes, ma'am.
show me your notebook. Are you solving the example that I told you just now?
मॅम सॉल्व करते.
Okay, करा. What about others? Pradnesh? Amrita? Okay, Mallar. Pradnesh?
Yes, you are solving it.
Yes, yes. इतका वेळ लागतो का? Yes. Is it taking too much of time? It should not actually.
मॅम सॉल्व केले.
दाखवा.
मॅम विजिबल आहे का?
बॅक कॅमेरा.
मॅम चालू झालं?
येस येस. आलंय शेवटच्या कॉलमला ट्रू सगळं?
येस मॅम.
Okay, then you have got the concept of actually what the thing here is. Just I wanted to give you this example to solve. for you to clear the implication and biconditional operations. Okay, yeah, that's why I have given you this one. Well done, Divya. What about others?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, completed.
Okay, all of you got that last column as true.
Yes, ma'am.
Avinash, Malhar, what about you?
Solving, ma'am. Last column, ma'am. Solving.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Go through this. Good one. Vinayak, Nikhil, Pravati, Aniket, Amruta.
Yes, ma'am, solving. Last one.
Solved, ma'am. Achieved true at the last column.
Yes, means it is a tautology. So we have proved that this law of biconditional propositions is valid. Okay. What about others? Shall I proceed further? I think some are active and some are passive participants. Shall I proceed further? Have you completed these guys? Aniket, Pragati,
Yes, ma'am, completed.
Amruta.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it was a law of biconditional propositions. Next is next is the exportation rule, in which only one premise is there. Okay, which is P and Q implies R. Therefore, P implies Q implies R. Okay, so the tautology proved to be is P and Q implies R implies P implies Q implies R. Okay, see the brackets carefully. In that sequence only, we have to solve with the help of truth table. And this also comes as true, and this is known as exportation rule. Okay. This is known as exportation rule. Then next is again P implies Q, Q implies R, therefore P implies R. Okay, means P implies Q and Q implies R, because these two are the premises, ANDing of these two. P implies Q and Q implies R implies P implies R. Okay, therefore P implies R. This is known as hypothetical syllogism. What it is known as? Hypothetical syllogism. When one statement is implies second statement and second statement implies third statement, what it means is first statement implies third statement. Okay, what it is known as hypothetical syllogism. It is also very important when solving the statements or examples. This is used frequently, hypothetical syllogism. Next rule is P implies Q, therefore P implies P and Q. Okay, This is also having only one premise, and that premise is P implies Q. Okay. And now what the conclusion here is? P implies P and Q. Okay. In this case, what the tautology to be proved is P implies Q implies P implies P and Q. Okay. And the name of the law is absorption law. Okay. What it is? It is absorption. P implies Q implies P implies P and Q. The next rule is P or Q negation P, therefore Q. The premises are P or Q, and second premise is negation P, and the conclusion here is Q. Okay. So when the tautology to be proved is P or Q and negation P implies Q. Here we can see. And name of this law is disjunctive syllogism. Name of this is disjunctive syllogism. What it is there? P or Q and negation P. Okay. And therefore, the answer comes as Q. The conclusion is Q. Okay. Then the next is resolution. Okay. How the resolution is there, we will see. P or Q and negation P or R. Okay. P or Q. This is the first premise, and second premise is negation P or R. And in between these two premises, the conclusion is Q or R. Okay. Then what we have to prove is P or Q and negation P or R implies Q or R. Okay. Name of this rule is resolution. Then the next rule is P implies Q, R implies Q, P or R, therefore Q. All these are the this type of premises. First premise is P implies Q, second is R implies Q, third is P or R, P or R, and the conclusion is Q, means therefore Q. So what we have to prove is again P implies Q and R implies Q and P or R implies Q. Okay. It is known as disjunctive elimination. Disjunctive elimination. What it is there? P or Q, R or Q and P or R. It implies Q is a tautology. Okay. So this rule is known as disjunction elimination. Now we will take the example here. Show that the hypothesis, okay, the premises or hypothesis given are it is not sunny this afternoon and it is colder than yesterday. Okay, it is not sunny this afternoon and it is colder than yesterday. The second premise is we will go swimming only if it is sunny. Okay, what the second statement is? We will go swimming only if it is sunny. Then what the third is? If we take a canal trip, then we will be home by sunset. Okay. What the third one is? We will take a canal trip if it is then we will be home by sunset, like this. Okay, lead to the conclusion that we will be home by sunset. All these are the premises, 4 premises that we have seen. Okay, it is not sunny this afternoon and it is colder than yesterday. Second is we will go swimming only if it is sunny. Third one is if we do not go swimming, then we will take a canal trip. And fourth one is if we take a canal trip, then we will be home by sunset. Okay, and the conclusion of this, what it is we will be home by sunset. Okay, now what we have to do is the first step is to identify propositions and its use proposition variables to represent them. Okay, what we will do now is P, we will take it as it is sunny this afternoon. Okay, it is sunny this afternoon. Then Q is what? Q is it is colder than yesterday. Okay, then what is R? R is we will go swimming. Okay, then S is what? We will take a canal trip. Okay, it is a S. And T will be we will be home by sunset. Okay, so what the hypothesis in terms of variables which will be, first hypothesis will be negation P and Q, because it is not sunny this afternoon. We have taken P as it is sunny this afternoon. Okay, so and it is colder than yesterday is Q. So the first premise come as negation P and Q. Okay, this one, the first one is negation P and Q. Then we will go swimming only if it is sunny. Again, implication is there. If it is sunny, then only we will go to swimming. We will go swimming is R. Okay, R is here. We will go swimming only if it is sunny. Only if it is sunny. P is it is sunny. So what we will use is R implies P. Okay. Then what the next is? If we do not go swimming, then we will take a canal trip. Then again it is implication 1. Negation R implies S. Negation R implies S means what? If we do not go swimming, then we will take a canal trip. Then last one is S implies T. What is S implies T is here? If we take a canal trip is S, and then we will be home by sunset. It is a T. Okay, S implies T is there. Okay, and the conclusion is T. As we know, we will be home by sunset. It is a conclusion, that is T. Okay, so our premises are negation P and Q. R implies P, negation R implies S, and S implies T. Okay, then all of you have got up to this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how we have derived the propositional variables that we have got. Now, to deduce the conclusion, we must use rules of inference to construct a proof using the given hypothesis. Okay, so what we have to do is now using these rules of inference, means some of these rules of inference we will use and prove that it comes at the conclusion, that is T. Okay, so it is we are having a table here. What the first hypothesis is here, negation P and Q. Okay, what's its simplification is negation P. Here it is. We can use this one. Means what? Here we are taking the conclusion that if this is the premise, what conclusion comes here? Okay. I think this rule is not here. This one, negation P and Q, it implies to negation P. Okay, it is true by simplification. Then what we will consider is the next hypothesis. Which one is that? Next hypothesis is this: R implies P here. Then we consider step 2 and 3. Okay, negation P and R implies P. Okay, what type of rule we have seen in this with these premises? Negation P and R implies P. This one, negation P is there and R implies P. Okay, means here the variables are different, but in our example variables are like this: negation P and R implies P. This type of premises are there. What the conclusion comes from that is negation P. So in our case, it will be negation R. Okay, what we have done, modus tollens using 2 and 3. Using 2 and 3, what we get is this conclusion, that is negation R in the 4th step. All of you have got up to this? Yes. All of you have got up to this negation R?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Negation P and Q, by simplification rule, we can write it like negation P. Okay. Got up to this? The first step. You can do it using your truth table also. It is equivalent to negation P. Negation P and Q is equivalent to negation P. It is known as simplification. Okay. Then we took the next hypothesis for the next step. Our next hypothesis is what? This one, R implies P. We took here R implies P. Okay. Now we considered this step 2 and step 3. Okay. Then we observed that which type of premise, in which rule these type of premises are there. Negation P is there and R implies P is there. Okay. Here our what we call means in our example variables are different. Okay, but what is see in the table, what is modus tollens rule? If premises are like this, negation Q is the first and P implies Q is the second premise, then what the conclusion becomes is negation P. So when these two types of statements we will see, we can write the conclusion for that. Okay, this conclusion that we have to write in place of these two, means we have proved already this. We know this is a tautology, that is negation Q and P implies Q implies negation P is a tautology, means it is a valid argument. So if this type of premises we come to know, then we definitely write a conclusion in place of those two premises. Okay, all of you got this? If these two types of statements I got in my example, then I will use this modus tollens rules using the another variables. Okay, and there will be conclusion as negation P. So this negation P we can give there instead of these two statements. Okay, so here is the same example. We have R implies P and negation P. Okay, same type of example is there for modus tollens. So what the result becomes is negation R. Okay, negation R. So here we have used modus tollens using 2 and 3. In the steps 2 and 3, we have used the modus tollens rule. Okay. The next is then when we come at negation R, we will take the next hypothesis, that is negation R implies S. Here negation R implies S. Then what it will be? Yes. Then we will use this step 4 and 5 to derive the next one. What it is? It is negation R and yes, negation R implies S. We have take here the next hypothesis. So now we will consider 4 and 5, step number 4 and step number 5. Now, which if these two are the premises, which rule will be used? Negation R and negation R implies S. These two are the premises. Then what we come to know as similar type is here P and P implies Q, therefore Q. Okay, so if this type of two premises are there, then we use this conclusion. Okay, how it is there? Negation R and negation R implies S. It becomes S now. Okay, it becomes S now. Then S belongs to T. The next hypothesis we have taken is this one. S belongs to T. And then we have again two premises. First is S. Second is S implies T. Okay. So what we have is, again using modus ponens rule, we will come to the conclusion that is T. Okay, it is a T and T is the conclusion. So we will have to stop our calculation for this conclusion T. Okay, S implies T and S implies T. It comes as T. Okay, all of you have got this. How we have used the rules of inference? One time used modus tollens rule and another 2 times it was a modus ponens rule and modus ponens rule using the different hypothesis of variables. Okay, all of you got this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just simply the rules are to be used. Then what is the negation P and Q is? It is not sunny this afternoon and it is colder than yesterday. Then we'll go swimming only if it is sunny. Now see in the table also what it becomes. Okay, negation P and Q, what we write by simplification rule there? Only negation P. Okay, now what the negation P is? It is not sunny. Okay, means P is it is sunny, then what we know is it is not sunny in this second step. Okay, it is not sunny. Then we take the next hypothesis into picture. That is, we will go swimming only if it is sunny. Okay. So it is not sunny now. Here we have conclusion that it is not sunny. Negation P is there. So we considered these two, and what our conclusion became is negation R. What negation R is now? R is what? We will go swimming. But negation R, what it will be? We will not go to swim. Okay. We are up to this now, negation R. Here we will not go to swim because it is not sunny. We will not go to swim. Okay. Now we took next hypothesis into the picture. It was negation R implies S. Negation R implies S and negation R. Then using modus ponens rule, we it came as S. Okay. Then what is S? S is we will take a canal trip. See here, it is not sunny, so we will not go to swim, but we will take a canal trip. Okay, S, we will take a canal trip. And then we take the next hypothesis here as S implies T. Means what? If we take a canal trip, we will be home by sunset, and from that we got our conclusion that we will be home by sunset. Okay, means all these steps are related to our example here that we have solved. Okay, and for solving those we have used this rules of inferences, modus tollens, modus ponens. Getting? Have you all got this example? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this completes our second unit. Okay. From the first section. In the next session, we will be starting with our third unit, that is sets. Getting? So I think all are not present here. In the teaching diary that you are accessing, I'm giving these notes. Okay. Or shall I provide it in the group also, link of this lecture? In teaching diary I have given already. If you want, I can give it in the group also. Do you need this? Okay, I didn't get you. You refer it from teaching diary that you are accessing. Okay. How many participants? All are present? No, all are not present. Give me presentee. Roll number 1.
Present.
Roll number 2. Roll number 2 is absent. Roll number 3.
Present.
4.
Present, ma'am.
5.
Present, ma'am.
6.
Hello. Excuse me,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, my roll number is 2. I'm present. I have a network issue, so
Okay. Okay.
frequently
Okay.
I'm out of network.
Okay. Okay. Not an issue. I will consider. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Present, ma'am.
7. 7. 8.
Present, ma'am.
8 is present.
Yes, ma'am.
9. Present, ma'am. 10. 10, what about 10? 11,
Present.
12, 12, 13, I can see present 13, 14, and 15.
Present, ma'am.
15 is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, means 4 are absent. 7, 10, 12, and 14. Okay, we'll stop here. In the next session, we will start with our third unit. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.